Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's press conference of the preseason. We have head coach Pascal Jansen. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Please be sure to state your name and the outlet that you're with. And we'll get started with Michael Lander.
Hey, Pascal, it's Mike Lander from Blue City Radio. Thanks
Hi.
as always for the time.
Michael, you're welcome.
I'm going to start with Talish Magno. Last year with Mitja, you kind of said to us that you felt like he wasn't 100% focused, and that's one of the reasons why you didn't suit him up one game. I'm just curious, based on the limited amount of time you have with Talish, are you comfortable saying that he's 100% committed to a future with NYCFC?
Well, I don't see the resemblance with Mitja in your question, but I think I understand. Talis has been with us since we started our medicals, and we've enjoyed his presence ever since. So he's working hard in order to show what he can do for us as a team, and we're enjoying that very much. So all good so far.
Matt, followed by Oliver.
Hey Pascal, Matt Mangum, Hudson River Blue. Nice talking to you again. Hope
Hi,
all is
Matt.
well.
Hi.
Hello. Obviously, you guys, got rid of Justin Haak this offseason, going to LA Galaxy. So I'm just curious for the back line next season. How do you see the back line kind of shaping up with Thiago Martins coming back, and of course Raul Gustavo, what his role could be, and you run on Mitja. So you kind of have a hole defensively. Where do you kind of see that being filled with Justin Haak's departure? Thank you.
Well, as every transfer window, there's a possibility that players might come in or might leave. Justin made a decision to leave us, and that is his right to do that. We wish him all the best in LA. For us, we already anticipated a few things because we knew Justin was going to be out of a contract at a certain point in time. So that's when we brought in Raul Gustavo, who can play left center back and left full back. And I also put in a request with the board in order to think about a possibility to bring in a player that might suit that profile what Justin brought to the back four. So that is something we're still looking into. But other than that, we have all positions occupied. Mitja obviously has gone on loan, but we have one of our talented kids, Drew Bayera, come into the roster of the first team, and he's competing with Tavon at the moment, so everything looks quite comfortable.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi. A question about what to do at striker. That seems to be the biggest hole right now.
Mm-hmm.
We had a press conference with the new sporting director on Tuesday, and he said that was a priority.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing on your end to go and fill that position in the absence of Alonso?
Well, Alonso is injured, obviously, and we've started our preseason. So we have Seymour Reed as a young talent dealing with that position. Once Alonso got injured, we played in the playoffs with Nico Mercao in that position. But it's our desire and our wish to find somebody with the perfect profile to come and support this dressing room again. So this is one of the other requests that I had to the board and to the CEOs and the sporting director to look into the possibilities to bring in a new number 9 as well. And that's looking good so far. We're in the process, and hopefully we can move on soon.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Church from Stream Punk Soccer.
Hi, Scott.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Speaking of a new sporting director in this case, talk a little bit about the working relationship you've had with him this year, since the departure of David Lee, what the conversations have been like and about, and just any general thoughts you've got. Thanks.
Well, the general thought is very positive. Todd came in, obviously from Sacramento in a similar job, but coming into an MLS franchise like New York City FC, that is something different. So we also have to allow Todd to adapt, and we're all there to support him. Me and my staff, obviously, but also everybody in its own role is willing to help Todd whenever he needs to be helped out. So that is something that I've seen over the past few weeks. Todd has been very open, very curious about several things going on within our club. And like I said just now, we try to help him to the best we can in order to get acquainted with everything and adapt as soon as possible. But nothing else than positive so far.
Roberto, followed by Glenn.
Hi, Coach. Long time no see. I hope all is well with you.
Hi, Roberto.
As you look at the season and knowing what you did last season, especially with the young kids coming up, and you seem to have another big group of new young kids. Can you go kids that we may not know and what you know about them and what their chances are to making an impact with the first team this year?
Well, as you said, Roberto, it's quite a big group, so I won't go through all of them. But the kids that made a good impression last season, obviously, were Johnny Shore, Seymour Reed, Maximo Carrizo picked up at a certain point. They all returned really well, very competitive again in training. And as I mentioned just now, Drew Baera is going to be part of our roster now since Mitja left, so that has opened up a pathway for Drew as well. And he came back very solid, very strong, very motivated, and is very competitive at the moment in training. So it looks good. It looks pretty decent with the youngsters, and there's a few college kids that came in and trying to present themselves as positive as possible. So we're looking into several situations now, but the ones I mentioned are the guys you know, and they're doing perfectly fine.
Glenn?
Hello, Pascal.
Hey, Glenn.
So I just going to ask you quickly about three players, and it's based on players coming back from injury. Andres Perea, to what extent, how serious that was based on how he could perform in preseason now. And then we've seen Keaton Parks and Malachi Jones in videos. We're not sure if they're in contact. What can you tell us about those three?
Well, first of all, very happy to see them all back on pitch. Keats is doing well, step by step. Sometimes it's a big step, sometimes it's a smaller step, but he's doing really well. Malachi has been out of the game just a little bit longer, so there's been some minor issues, but medical staff is taking good care of him. Sometimes we have to hit the brake just a little bit more, be a little bit more patient for both players. We're not in a rush. We have to make sure that they fit in and stay in the program so they can add their qualities and personality to the group again. Andres is a different story. Obviously, he got hurt in the game against Charlotte, had surgery, but it's going really, really well. He's slightly ahead of schedule, and he's very, very motivated in his rehab now in order to challenge the medical staff and make sure that they are on their toes and doing the best they can in order to help him get ready. So it's looking good, but we have to be aware of setbacks or other things that might occur. But it's looking good, and hopefully he can keep this up.
Thank you.
We'll go with Alejandro, followed by Ronnie.
Hello, Mr. Pascal.
Hey, Alejandro. How are you?
30. First, congratulations for the last season. It was pretty good what you guys see. And my question is going to be, how would you describe the energy of the leadership inside the locker room right now, and how confident it does to make the team competition mindset into this season?
Well, you mentioned one of our main ingredients within how our culture works and how we work on a daily basis. The word is energy, and the team has come in very energetic. Every training session so far has satisfied me in a big way. Also, the new kids coming in, they understand what is demanded, and they try to do just that every day. But it also goes for the staff. So for me, it's a different approach, of course, because when I came to the club in January 25, I didn't really know what to expect in certain areas, but that is different this year and allows us to raise the bar again. Because, as you said, the compliments are there for last season, but the reality is it's only it's only an impression so far. There were no end results, if that makes any sense. So that is something that we're going to try to do better this year, and it all starts with the energy that everybody has to bring to the team.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ronnie?
Hi, Coach. Ronnie from Soccer Grid Radio. Happy New Year. Hope all is well.
Hi, Ronnie. Same to you.
Hello, Coach. I actually think it was a perfect segue. Just mentioning on my question was really on you coming into year 2 now as a head coach with New York City, and how you just mentioned you didn't really know what to expect coming into your first year. Just having had that off season to now reflect, just wanted to ask you any lessons or learnings you take with you now going into year 2. Thank you.
I think the biggest lesson and the biggest takeaway is that we were on the right pathway throughout the season. You could see that the team was growing game by game. In the final stage of the season, we were still very competitive, and that brought us all the way to the final. As I mentioned to your colleague just now, there were no prizes won at the end of the journey last season, so that is something that we'll try to do better this season. But we're convinced that we have taken the right road and heading in the right direction to be successful and stay competitive again this season. However, there's a few things that have changed. Even though I know the majority of the players and knew what to expect when this preseason was about to start, the team has to replace 4 key players that are not available anymore for several reasons. So there's a good opportunity during preseason to make sure that we find the right rhythm again, get everybody to play in their best role and their best strength in order to be a better team in 26.
Amelia?
Hi, good afternoon, Coach Jansen.
Hi.
My name is Amelia. I represent Macro Digital Televisión, and today I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, last season presented several challenges for the team. Do you feel that this preseason has helped strengthen NYCFC's identity? And if so, do you believe that the team has the potential to compete for a playoff spot eventually, facing stronger teams? Thank you very much.
Well, it's very clear that once you're part of New York City FC, that the goal or the objective is to be part of the playoffs. So that is the goal every season. So that doesn't change, even though we don't have the 4 key players available who were in the squad last season. So that doesn't change. The challenges for this season, some are the same, some have changed. If you look at the away stretch, which was an item before I came, is something that we did quite well in the last season, but it doesn't give you any guarantees for the coming season. So I'm looking forward to seeing new challenges come to the horizon, but there will be a few challenges that will be similar to last season. And our main goal is to be a better team than we were last season. So it's not always about the challenges ahead. It's also about challenging yourself in order to be better than we were before. And that is the biggest challenge that we control ourselves.
Glenn, go ahead.
Hey again, Pascal. Didn't really have a chance to talk much about last year. I wonder if you could just identify what your proud moment was, as you look through. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that sticks out for, we'll give you one proud moment of your team?
That's a good question. There were a few, but especially the game away against 2 games, actually. The games against Charlotte and the game against Philadelphia away. Given the fact that we were dealing with some severe setbacks, losing a couple of players with severe injuries, and the team's resilience after, and the way they adapted to the new ideas that we had to implement during those games, and how we prepared for those games, that made me very proud, because that is something that I've been preaching from day one, is that we have to be flexible and adapt to situations quickly, learn fast, and still be very competitive and try to be successful. So in those 2 games, those were proud moments, to be honest.
Christian, go ahead.
Coach, good to talk to you again. I'm curious. You were talking about Todd and kind of the relationship building you guys have been going through. I'm curious what sort of the day-to-day between the two you looks like now, and I guess does it change a little bit to the relationship and how things were handled when David was here? I mean, just kind of maybe walk us through a little bit of how the relationship building has happened and what the day-to-day interactions are like.
Obviously, there was a different relationship with David Lee because he was the one who did all the research in order to get me involved in this project in the first place. But like always, people make decisions and they come and they go. David is doing a great job now in Kansas, and Todd has walked into our building, which means we have to establish a new relationship because we didn't know each other before Todd came to work for us. The daily situation is something that I would describe as something that has to go organic and in a very natural and relaxed way. So he asks a lot of questions. He's very interested in who I am, what I've done. Obviously, he's seen how we have performed last season. He has an impression of me as a coach. He was curious about a few things, so we've sat a couple of times already and chatted about a million things. And the same goes for me because I'm curious about Todd and what he's done before and what drives him and what he expects from all of us and what he is trying to add to our organization to become even more successful. So those are very interesting conversations. And now in a period like in preseason, it gives you even more time because you're on the road with each other. You sit in the hotel, you have your training sessions, you have your preparations, you have your conversations about roster building and all kinds of stuff. And being here together this close helps to create the relationship that we need in order to go forward.
Final one, we'll go with Oliver.
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue again. Last year, at the start of the season, many of the MLS pundits didn't really rate NYCFC. Many actually picked the team to miss the playoffs entirely. Of course, we know what happens. The club was a Final Four team, so all of that was proven wrong. Soon, those prognostications will be coming out again. I'm wondering if you pay attention to them, if they impact you, if they motivate you. Are you aware of them, and what is your response to those?
I wasn't aware about the ideas from last season. I'm not aware of the current situation going into 26. It's something that I leave to the experts and the pundits to discuss. And from our end, we just focus on, like we said last season, and that is the same I'm going to tell you guys now going forward into this season. We are trying to build a very competitive roster in order to challenge top teams and go for trophies and be very successful. That was the idea going into last season. That was one of the reasons why I chose to go and join this project. And that is still one of the reasons why I believe 26 is a season where we can be even more successful. But a few things will remain the same. As I mentioned to you guys just now, replacing 4 key players from the team that we had last season is a challenge for us, but we're all working very hard behind the scenes in order to get that job done, and then go into the 26 season with a lot of confidence that we can be successful again, and hopefully more successful than in 25.
Thank you, everybody.
Recording stop.